What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the second installment of Popcorn and Hot Takes, where we will be talking about everything in movies and TV. I am Darius, and I have my two co-hosts with me.
Len.
What up, Austin?
Let's jump right into it, man. So this week, y'all know what we talking about. We talking about Michael. So we're gonna just go right into it. Austin, me and you had a lot to say about it, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead and go right into it, man. I want to hear your thoughts before you see the movie, not while you're watching it. Give me your thoughts going into the movie. Let's start there. I want to hear everybody's thoughts going into the movie.
Okay.
So my thoughts going into the movie prior to seeing it, I had high expectations for it.
Hmm.
Is Michael Jackson, right? Like Michael
Facts.
Jackson, when it came to his career and who he was as a humanitarian, set the
Hmm.
bar really high. So I had high expectations. I was excited to see Jafar, his nephew, play him. I thought
Yeah.
he looked just like him. And just kind of
Man.
like seeing his preparation leading up to it, like that
Hmm.
was really dope. And to be able to like play your uncle and keep the star of the movie in the family, I thought was really dope. When I think Michael Jackson and the Jackson Five and their story, I think about I want to say the 1992 miniseries American Dream about
Facts.
Jackson Five, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, this is about to be like a spinoff, maybe. Like I was really excited about it. I have an unpopular opinion about Michael Jackson. Maybe I'll share it, maybe I
We
won't.
gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
But I was excited to see it because I feel like it's so much of his life that we
Yeah.
don't know that I feel like it's starting to get uncovered, especially now that all that we've learned about like the catalogs he owned, like the true intention of Never Ever Land and kind of the lies that the media was spinning about him.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I was looking forward to it from that standpoint.
Okay. So, Lynn, what were your thoughts going right into it before you started watching movies? What was your thoughts going in?
Okay. Going in, first of all, I love Michael Jackson. Like, I love him.
Facts. Who
His
doesn't?
posters, like, I love him. When he passed, oh, I cried for weeks. I love him. So I was super excited to see this movie. Like, you don't even understand. However,
Yeah.
I did know that they said they weren't gonna cover like some of like his later life and like some of
Hmm.
those topics. So I was just very curious how they were gonna do that since like I don't let that be like his legacy, but that is a huge part of like his story for sure. And that's like a lot of what
Hmm.
is part of his story right now. So I was just curious of how they were gonna do that. And then I also noticed like Janet Jackson was not a part of like any of like
Yeah.
the press for it. And like I also love Janet Jackson. We all know that they were super close. So her not being a part of it also made me curious like what was in the movie that like she didn't agree
Hmm.
with or like what could have been a part of it that like was the reason for her to not be involved. So I was like, should
Yeah.
I see this if Janet's not on board with it? But like majority of the other siblings were. So I was just kind of like, okay, well, like sometimes when they do like the stories of these people, they don't usually have like their family involved. They just kind of like
Yeah.
tell their story however they want to. So majority of the family being involved actually made me excited to see it because it felt like it would be even more of a true story. So I was
Hmm.
like super excited because at least like there was majority family involvement. His nephew was covering him, and I just feel like
Yeah.
no matter what, they were gonna do him justice and do him right compared to some of the other Michael Jackson stories where like they just should never have even touched them. So I was excited about that.
Like Flex Washington.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. Horrible. Why
We're
they
not
do
gonna talk about
that? We're
that
not
at
gonna talk
all, bro.
about that. But yeah, so overall, I was super excited and especially knowing that his family was involved.
Yeah. So going into it, I kind of had the same thoughts as y'all. But my main thought was the younger Michael. I mean, we kind of knew about Mike as an adult and all that good stuff. Mine was the younger Michael. Were they gonna go a little more in depth into him and his brothers and Gary, Indiana, and kind of highlight their start a little more? I mean, we knew about the talent shows and because it felt like they jumped to the Jackson 5 really quick. So I kind of wanted to know where they were going to start as far as young Michael, young Jackson 5, and then gradually going to it. So I think that's where my thoughts were going into it. Like, okay, how are we gonna get these? How the kids gonna look? Because American Dream, they told the entire story from the very
Yeah.
beginning of
Yeah, that's long.
children. Yeah, it was children, teenager, high school, this, that. So I wanted to really know how were they gonna do that, and still show us his parents aspect and all that good stuff. So I really wanted to know, going into it about the kid aspect. So now I'm gonna ask. We sit down, we watch the movie. Lynn, give us your take of watching the movie and thoughts and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because I know it's different than y'all's. Okay, so my overall review, I will say this. Every actor did what they needed to do. I'll give them that. The actors did their job. Little Michael, his nephew, I do not know the man's name, but the man who was like his agent who handled everything for him, like
Mhm.
they all did what they needed to do. I will
Yeah,
say
for sure.
though, LaToya Jackson was the weakest link.
That
Like,
felt more like his auntie than his sister.
Fact. Then his sister,
and
yeah,
like,
fact,
can we
fact.
be for real? Like, she ain't look nothing like her. So that was killing
Nothing,
me. But
nothing.
so like with her, I was just like, but everybody else, like the casting was pretty good. Neil Long, baby. Okay. Coleman
Remember Coleman
Domingo
Domingo, yeah.
looks spot on like Joe Jackson. Like the
Man,
parents, they did their thing.
fact.
Okay. Like watching it, I forgot who they were. I was like, oh yeah, this is Neil Long. So I think like the acting and the characters, like it was really well done. And they did a good job portraying each character. Overall, though, I would say like I'm not gonna lie, like I very much enjoyed it. I don't know why I told you I'm a huge Michael fan. Like there were just certain moments where like I'm just like crying in the movie theater. So I'm like, he ain't got no business being gone. Like, why is he
I
gone?
feel that. Yeah, I
Like
do
when
feel that.
Fact,
yeah,
fact.
like when they were showing like his performances and how crazy the fans were, I'm like, there is nobody like him. Like the
Oh,
closest thing we have is
heck no.
Beyonce, but like I still don't even think she's as close as Michael Jackson. And like
Nobody.
that's saying something.
Nobody.
So like
Yeah.
I just like I loved it. Overall, I thought it was really good, but I will say, like I said before, going in, I was just kind of like, how are they going to tell the story without telling that part of his story? So when the
Yeah.
ending came, literally, I'm not even joking. Austin, my husband, had looked at me and was like, "How much longer is this movie?" Because like he's like, we only halfway into the movie.
Yeah.
Right. And then I was like, well, I was
Facts.
like, what time is it? And it was like 2 hours. So I'm like, it's about to end, but how? We're like halfway in. And then I
Yeah.
kid you not, the credits start rolling. We were like,
Yeah.
oh,
This is
okay.
it.
Yeah,
So,
this is it. Literally.
all right. So like I think it was good because I did learn a lot. Like I did learn a lot as far as like I didn't realize he lived with his parents that long in his life. I thought like he had
Yeah.
his own house when his first album came out. So there was just like the family aspect was like really big and I learned a lot about like his upbringing and just like his journey to becoming independent because like you said we kind of just like jumped to Jackson 5 and like him getting his career like as far as we knew. But I would just say overall I thought it was good. I just feel like when it ended, it felt like it ended abruptly. And it didn't really feel like that was the ending. But like after we talked about it, it kind of made sense because that's when like he really started to like go out on his own. But like while you're in the movie theater, you do feel like, this feel like a weird spot to end this. But
Yeah.
overall, I think it was good. Yeah, I think it was good. I would say it was good. Like I thought there was gonna be, I think it just because we all were like wanting more. Like I don't know, but.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, when I sat down to watch the movie finally, I kind of felt, it's Michael Jackson. So my thoughts going in, I had high expectations because his Mike is like, okay, this is the GOAT. Like there's nobody, like you said, there's nobody that'll ever, in my opinion, compare to a Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
Nobody. Not Chris Brown, none of, and they're great, but they'll never have fans passing out fainting, like grown adult men are fainting at the
Yeah.
feet of another grown man. That's crazy to me.
Mhm.
So going into it, you kind of thought, let's see how great this movie could be. And I must say, it got boring really fast. That movie got so boring so fast. He grew up so quick to me. It's like it was little Michael for a minute, and then they just grew up, and it's like, oh man, we're Jackson 5. We're huge. We're singing at a fair for a minute, and then boom, we're huge. So it got kind of boring um when they were just trying to tell the story. And then, like you said, I thought Joe Jackson and Catherine Nia Long and Coleman Domingo, if they should get Oscars for sure. Just off of their roles alone, they should get Oscars. I thought the acting was great from all sides, from Little Michael to the parents, except for like you said, Latoya. That looked nothing like Latoya. That felt more like Auntie Latoya and Sister Latoya.
Sister
Um,
Latoya.
and I was waiting on Janet, and it was just weird because it's like we know there's another kid supposed to be here. Where is this other kid at? Why is the other kid not here? So it just kind of felt weird.
Hmm.
And it felt to me like Michael Jackson versus his dad. Like that's all it felt. It
Yeah.
felt like Mike versus his dad. It's like my
That's
dad and Joe Jackson, Lord rest his soul, terrible guy. I feel like he didn't need to be that hard on them. I feel like they would have still been international superstars,
Yeah, he
even if
wasn't
he
that
did
hard. Yeah.
discipline them like that. They would have still been great. So it just felt like Mike versus his dad, and let's add in a little bit of the music industry. Let's show how Thriller was made. And it's just like we only showing Thriller's top three hits. We're showing Thriller, Bad, and I think the other one was Want to Be Starting Something. It's like, okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
show, and then of course we have to show the Victory Tour, which is one of the biggest tours of all time. So it just felt the movie felt so predictable. It's like we're only gonna showcase the big things in Mike's life, which that's cool. I mean, I get it, but when it's a film like this, it show the hard stuff. Sometimes you have to show the tough stuff. So we want to see when Mike was having issues with the legal issues with the kids, and we want to see stuff like that. Let's throw that in there. It's tough, I know for sure, but
Hmm.
it's public knowledge and we know it. So the movie just got so boring. It just felt like a VH1 behind the scenes series of the making of Thriller and let's see Quincy Jones for a second. And then that was the end of it. So yeah, it just got boring really fast to me. So also
Yeah.
I know you're dying to say something, bro. Go ahead, bro.
No, no, man. So before I get started, right? First, I want to shout out the original Michael Jackson from the American Dream, Wiley Draper. He lost
He
his
passed
life
away.
at like
Yeah.
25, like when he was just getting
Yeah.
started. So shout out to him. Shout out to Jason Weaver.
Jason
Um,
Weaver, bro.
yeah. So
Perfect.
shout out to
Yeah.
the American Dream cast. So I took several notes while I was watching the movie, right? I'm like, because
Same. I got
I'm
some more.
prepping for the podcast, and I'm gonna start with my pros, right? The pros, like I said before, Jafar did
Perfect.
his uncle justice. He was a little more diesel than his uncle. You know, his Mike ain't had a pecs that Jafar has, but no, he did a great job. The kid that played kid Michael Jackson, that
Hmm.
dude is
yeah.
talented, man. Like I
Yeah,
saw
fact.
some interviews with him on the Jennifer Hudson show, and that kid is like legit talented.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I think just like the guys who played the brothers of Michael, I thought they did a phenomenal job as well. I think
Hmm.
overall everybody did a really good job except the AI Bubbles. That was terrible. That
Man,
they that
that
they
that was in my
did
notes. That was in my
that they did the
notes.
AI Bubbles. So overall, like the film was good, right? Like,
Yeah.
did it meet my expectations? Not necessarily. Um, and here's and I'll just go down the list of some of the things that I wrote down. Not everything, but some positives. Oh, another positive, even though they didn't have any interaction, it was cool seeing
Hmm.
Lorenz Tate and Nia Long in the movie again together.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
we
that was
haven't
cool.
seen
Yeah.
that. I feel like we haven't seen that in a while. Um, the guy, the guy that played Quincy Jones, from
Hmm.
Insecure.
Yep.
What was his character's name on Insecure?
Can't
Oh,
remember.
I cannot remember.
I don't remember, but he didn't feel like Quincy Jones. He felt like his character on Insecure.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah, he felt just like Quincy to me.
I
Yeah,
literally told Austin, I turned to him and I said, they did their thing on Quincy Jones.
Yeah,
I never
yeah. He
pictured him as Quincy Jones ever in my life until then. And I said, this is spot on.
and
Yes.
the way he
okay.
was so laid back, it just felt like Quincy.
That's
Like, because Quincy was
Yes.
always that laid back type
He
guy.
was, yeah, he was. I don't know. He just felt like at any point he was gonna be like, Issa, come on, like that's just how it felt.
His name was
Um,
Nathan on Insecure.
yeah, Nathan.
Okay.
Another thing I liked that they kept it consistent that Joe Jackson was threatened by Barry Gordy. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Nia Long did a good job, but she wasn't Angela Bassett.
No,
She was like,
no.
"Oh, I don't want you. I don't want you." Like those,
Yeah.
and I think that's the problem for me is I keep comparing it to American
Same,
Dream,
same.
and I have to stop doing that. Um, and then another cool thing I didn't know, is that MTV never played a black artist until Michael Jackson. I thought
Hmm.
that was pretty cool. So like, I feel like we learned some cool facts that we didn't know,
Yeah.
like on the tour when Michael Jackson was like, "This will be our last tour," and looked at Joe like I didn't know that happened in real
Mhm.
life.
I got
Uh,
something for that too, though.
okay, but like I said, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Very good, informative, but underwhelming. But I feel like they left us off saying that don't worry, more is coming. I
So,
Yeah,
hope I
yeah.
hope that's happening.
so actually, the popcorn meter is out of five popcorns. So what do we all think out of our five
Yeah, you
popcorns?
at high, bro.
All that I've said in recalling the film,
Hmm.
I give it a popcorn rating of 2.95 out of 5.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
What about you, Derek?
Um, and to kind of go back real quick, when they said Michael Jackson, when he said this is our last tour, that wasn't their last tour. They did a whole nother tour, the Unity tour, some years later. So it wasn't their last tour.
Well,
The
at the
Jackson
at the
Five actually
at the
toured
moment
again.
he thought it was.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just funny because I'm like, wait, I know they toured again. It was a little
Oh
bit after that, but I
yeah.
know for sure they toured again.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
real quick, another cool part was when, and it was true. I read this somewhere when Mike brought the Bloods and the Crips together to
yeah.
do the bad video. I didn't know that that was real because
Yeah.
again, these grown killers really respected Michael Jackson and they put their beef to the side because they like, we can
Hmm.
go dance for Mike. And these are stone cold murderers.
Killers.
And they put their beef to the side to dance for Mike. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
But
Side note,
popcorn theater,
Dion Cole did a great job as Don
Oh
King.
yeah.
Don King, yeah, 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 he did. He
Yeah.
did. Facts,
Yeah.
facts.
He
But
said, "Is
popcorn
Michael
meter,
gonna be there?"
if I gotta give it a popcorn meter, you said 2. I'm gonna go 2.5 out of 5. It just got so boring really quick to me.
Man,
It got so boring. And like I said, I love Mike. I love Mike. I
love
am
him,
a
Mike.
Michael Jackson. I got Thriller over here. I got Off the Wall. I got a lot of Mike records, but it just got real boring. So 2.5.
Okay. So my
Go ahead,
popcorn
give us your
rating,
5 out of 5.
the five popcorns, it is not a 5 out of 5. It's 3 because it was good, but it's
Oh,
not like I need to see this again.
okay.
I'd recommend it, but I feel like I'd recommend it with like don't expect too much and not go to like you got to give like some disclaimers before you like recommend
Yeah.
Facts,
it.
facts,
So
Yeah.
facts,
I would give it a
facts.
3. I think like I said, everybody did what they needed to do, but I think part of it is like it's Michael Jackson and like I like he passed away in 2009, which is a long time ago. So I think we all just had like
Yeah,
such high expectations for it. And I think that's what it is too. I think like if it was not so like so much later after he passed, we wouldn't have such high expectations. But
hmm
I think
It's
I
like,
went into it with it, so it's a 3.
yeah, like y'all done had close to 20 years to get this thing right.
Yeah, and then to just feel like we like miss like not even just like a chunk of his life, like it's a lot of
Oh,
his life.
It's a
we missed
lot,
a
yeah.
lot. Yeah, we missed
Yeah,
a
and
lot.
then like you said, Janet not being in it was just weird. Like they could have did better at like, cause like while she didn't agree to be in it, y'all removed her whole existence from the movie.
Yeah.
Strange.
Like they could have got like a little girl to like talk in the backdrop. Like don't see Janet, but it's just a
Yeah.
little Janet, stop. Okay, mom. Just like just something.
So, with the popcorn meter being where it is, what are your what are y'all kind of what is the best scene from the movie?
Um for me, I would say like the Pepsi scene.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Here's why I say that. So I used to work for Pepsi, and this
Okay.
was in 2018 or 19
Hmm.
when we started to um like relaunch that campaign of Pepsi Generation. So like Ray Charles, Britney
Yeah.
Spears, Michael Jackson. And it was just kind of cool to like see that because like it became a marketing campaign that was important for us like
Hmm.
years later. So just seeing the production of it, seeing the old school Pepsi logo, that was definitely like one of my favorite scenes. And then I think overall, my favorite just any scene was his security guard Bill.
Yeah.
Um,
It was great.
pretty much any scene that he was a part of, I enjoyed it. And I just kind of like did my research on Bill. Like Bill was like Michael Jackson's
Bill look like
dad, basically. And
Yeah.
the actor looked exactly like him. And I just like how like he was his voice of reason
Yeah.
and how Bill was like able to put his foot down on Joe and be like, it's a wrap, bro. Like he's tired of you. So I enjoyed those scenes.
I would say I have two. My
Okay.
one of my favorite scenes was I feel like there was more than what I'm thinking, but one of my favorite scenes was when he had him fire his dad for him. Because in my head, I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, how he about to do this? He
Yeah.
tried to like pretty much
Yeah.
explore and it didn't work. How's he gonna do this? And when he faxed it, I said, oh, this is
That
hilarious.
was crazy work.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And like,
Hilarious. Yeah.
yeah, I love that scene. And then also, I really like the scene where he was, I believe it was with the monkey or either when he was in the room with the rat Ben. But like in
Hmm.
general, both of those scenes I really liked because I feel like we all know that like Michael Jackson was very childlike and like that's why he
Yeah.
had the kids and like Neverland and everything. But I feel like I don't know how to explain it. It's like I love Michael Jackson. I always knew that, but like watching the movie, like it really made me realize, like, no, sorry, I'm saying the wrong scene. It was the scene with him and his mom at the table, and she was saying, like, you need to get you some like real people friends. And he was just like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
kids
ain't regular.
scared and just like want photos. And like when you really, I never thought about it, but like when you think about it, at that time, there weren't like major child stars. Like there were some, but not really like in his time, like how it is now, where like they can be friends or like
Yeah.
there's a bunch casted. Like he really was like the only like child star, like child star. So he really didn't even have the opportunity to make friends for real. And like you know that, but like the movie really put it in perspective. Like it makes sense why he only hang out with his family and why he only hang out with the animals. So I just like really
Yeah.
love that scene because I never really realized like he was like one of a kind like at that time. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. My favorite scene was it was two as well. Um, the scene where he started to put together Thriller, and he
Yeah.
got the little pen board, and you started seeing him kind of his juices started flowing. That was my favorite scene. Just to basically just see him work at Thriller, which is one of the greatest albums of all time. So just being able to see him work Thriller, that was pretty dope. Um, and then how he had just these visual concepts of what he wanted his, music videos to be. I thought that was super dope. He like, I want to make short films. I don't want to just do the regular video. And his videos are super iconic. So I thought that was super dope. Just seeing him, his wheels turning. Mike was a different guy. His thought process, as far as music, and then Quincy Jones just helped him along tremendously, but his thought process to music was just so different, which I think that's what thrusted him to be so great. Um, and then the second part I liked was the Twister part, where he said, "I got Twister," and his brother's like, "Man, we got the women coming over. We ain't worried about no twist. We twisted something, but we ain't twisted with you." I thought that was just so funny. TikTok made it like this part was so sad before I seen it. And when I finally seen it, I said it wasn't this because Mike started laughing. He's all you guys are. So
Yes.
it felt like just like brotherly love. I thought that was super dope because it just felt like brotherly love. Then they jumped into him and Bubbles playing Twister, but
Twister,
I just thought
yeah.
that was just real funny because
Yeah.
his brother's like, "Nah, we gonna do something a little different, but we still love you, Mike." So I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess when I think about it, I think the sad part of that is like it showed how his brothers were like able to grow
Yeah,
up
and he
because they
didn't.
had
Yeah,
more of a normal childhood,
Yeah.
whereas
yeah,
like he just stayed a kid.
yeah.
Is
His superstardom was just what you started to see him break away from his superstardom took off. It was so quick and he just thrust it. It's like overnight Mike just I don't know, and I think we'll never know how Mike just became a superstar, and his brothers kind of just they never moved as far
back
as
to
he
back.
could.
Yeah.
They just never. They just took a back seat. They could never just. None of them could do solo. None of them could just
Nothing.
recreate what he did.
Yeah. I got a question. So earlier, Darius, you said that like the Jackson 5 could have been greater if Joe Jackson wasn't who he was. Do
Hmm.
you think if Joe Jackson let up a little bit on them, would we have Michael Jackson?
I do believe that. So I believe because I believe Mike was him and his brothers. They were destined to be the Jackson Five. I think that he could have still worked his kids for sure, but the constant beating and the down talking to them and you can't. It's like your kids are gonna resent you. They're gonna grow up and do exactly what happened. I was reading an article when Joe Jackson died. None of his kids talked to him. Like none of them were. They were. None of them were really on speaking
And
terms
they
with him.
all called him Joseph.
And it's like, dude, I ain't never called my pops Don. That's my dad. I don't call him by his first name because I don't. We have a real relationship. So it was never. I just felt like he didn't have to do any of that. He could have still been a great, manager and a great mentor to his children. He didn't have to do that. And Mike would have still probably been the greatest of all time. I just felt like that was crazy. That was
Yeah.
crazy. He scared Mike. Like it was time. Mike walking the house and he walking on eggshells around his father. His mom, him and his mom loved her to death. Like that was his safe place. His dad, you could tell in real life he was really afraid of his dad. And to the day he probably died, he was super afraid of his dad. And all of them were. They were all afraid of him. So that was unnecessary.
I think, how do I explain it? I don't think you ever have to beat your kids. But I
No.
do think, I don't think he had
Well, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he had to beat them, but I do think his like how much he was like on them, like disciplining them,
Yeah.
making sure they like rehearse. He's the one who set that gig up that they got discovered by
Hmm.
Motown. So I think like him being
Yeah.
on them was very much needed. But I do feel like this, as they kept saying in the movie, and as we all have seen, like Michael Jackson's talent is like God given. Like he was gonna be famous
Facts. Facts.
regardless. I really like truly feel that in my soul. Like I feel like he would have been singing at like the store and he would have got discovered type thing. Like
Hmm.
he could have been
Agreed.
anywhere they heard that voice, he was gonna be famous. So I don't think like it like he needed to be like that, but I will give him his props and say like him being on them like that definitely did help
Hmm.
keep them in line and like keep them focused on what the goal was. So I will say like
Yeah.
he didn't have to beat them for it, but I do like give him his props on like making sure they were disciplined, had a routine, and he sought out those opportunities for them.
Hmm.
Understandable. So let me ask y'all next question. What was the
Wait,
worst scene?
wait, what Austin think?
Oh, my fault, bro. You did ask the question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we would have gotten Michael Jackson,
Yeah, for sure.
but we wouldn't have gotten Michael Jackson to the magnitude because so much of his drive to be great was built from his resentment towards his father.
That's true.
And I don't know if we would have gotten like the iconic Michael Jackson because I feel like so much of his inspiration to like write and be creative and I'm gonna make a name for him for myself was built out of Joe forcing him in the Jackson 5 box. Now, ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that at all because that's
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For
super
sure.
super talented family.
Hmm.
But I think especially like with him having the confidant of Bill, right? Like being able to express stuff to him and him saying, you know, Mike, like you can do your own thing. And like I just think Joe being a butthole led Mike to his greatness.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I don't know if we would have gotten like the magnitude of Michael Jackson that we got if Joe was a little bit nicer, if you will.
And I think Joe Jackson was greedy too. He was a very greed driven
Absolutely.
guy.
Extremely greedy.
That yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't. Now that I didn't know. That was very when he went to Don King about the Victory Tour. Mike didn't even sign on yet. Like Mike
Nah.
told you no,
Yeah.
and that was it was very. And he backed up. We gonna do this tour. We gonna do that tour. And I thought it was like you said. I thought it was cool that Mike stood up and said, "Hey, after this, y'all get ready for me because my brothers are behind me now. I love them, but they gonna be behind me. Y'all get ready for me now."
Yeah.
And I thought Joe was just a greedy dude. Um, and essentially, you know, he treated Catherine terrible. I mean, that's a whole nother story, but
I don't
I don't
want
know,
you. I
man.
don't want you.
Yeah, I just felt like, I don't know, man. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do that to my children. I just couldn't. I ain't gonna beat you into superstardom, bro.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
say most goats that have father issues, they grow up to be the great.
They
Look at
grow to be
LeBron. No
yeah,
daddy, he's LeBron. So when you got a
that's
dad,
true.
you kind of like you're nurtured. So it's like, oh, I got my dad. But when you ain't got no dad, it's like, man, I gotta get out in these streets,
I
man.
gotta get out
So
the mud.
you feel
Right.
me?
Also, it kind of made me think like because Joe was like really big on making sure that they didn't end up in the steel mill in Gary. So I
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
his I get his
yeah,
drive and
yeah.
motivation. And I would love a glimpse of what Joe's upbringing was like.
Oh, for sure, for
Like, you know,
sure.
like what his father, like his background, where he come and that's not to say we gotta end up like 50 Cent with the Power series and just do a show for every single
I will
Jackson.
watch it though. I ain't gonna. I will
Yeah, I
watch.
will watch that. I will
I will
watch that.
watch.
But yeah, I would just be curious to know like Joe's upbringing because I feel like Joe had a lot of insecurities.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and he got to a point where he was jealous of his sons
yeah.
in general, really of his kids, because they were, for lack of a better terms, like better at life than he was.
I
And
mean, you
like,
made two superstars. You made
yeah,
two
Yeah. I
superstars.
was gonna say, I don't think he was necessarily jealous. I think it was just more so like he felt like he made them. Like he was like, you
Yeah,
yeah,
owe
yeah,
me
like
this. Like I
yeah,
made you. Like that's how I felt
the
about it. Like
greed.
he was like,
Yeah,
he gave us his house and he's like, well, I like, but it's like, no, he like so I don't think
yeah,
he was necessarily
yeah.
jealous. I think it was just like he felt like he really did make all that happen.
I
So
mean, and like you birthed them, right? Like Catherine, I'm sure it was like, man, these are my babies. I'm so proud of them. Like,
true.
Yeah,
look what they've done with their life. Whereas Joe, like, he wanted to have that life. And I feel like his life could have been richer if he would have been able to sit back and just like
I
be
agree.
like, wow. Like I remember when they was little boys in the living room in Indiana and like look where they are now. But I feel like a lot of parents of like stars
oh
struggle
yeah,
with their kids
yeah,
becoming stars
yeah.
and feeling entitled to like every stage of their career. And it's like, Joe, at some point you got to recognize that like Michael cultivated his own sound, his
Yeah,
own creativity, his own mind. And like that's the purpose of a parent is to like instill something to make sure that your kid can take it to the next
it's a
level
yeah.
and do things with it that you never imagined that they would do with it.
And I never once heard him tell any of the kids that he was proud of them. I never heard him say, "Oh, I'm proud of you guys" or anything like that. But in hindsight, we talk about Janet. Janet has a whole different outlook on Joe Jackson. She said that, and of course, she's the baby. She didn't get any of that. Like he
Yeah,
nurtured her, he loved her. And she always says like Joe was the reason that I became Janet Jackson. And
yeah,
so she gives, I think he just, like you said, it was, he didn't want his kids to be in Gary, and that's a tough place to grow up. So
yeah,
he like, I don't want my kids to work in the steel mill because that's all that's over there. So I want y'all to be great. So I give him that, but still, man, it's just like you could have. I feel like Mike would have still like Lynn just said. Mike could have been singing in a grocery store, and somebody was gonna hear Mike and be like, "That's the guy. Like he's that guy." So he was always. I feel like he was always gonna be
yeah.
a
One more
superstar.
One more thing to add. There was a scene in the movie. He was trying to guilt trip him. I'm fully aware of this. I know he was not a good guy, right? But what he said was true. When he was talking to him at the door, remember he like clenched the door, trying to convince him to do the family tour. And he
Yeah,
was like nobody's like gonna understand you like family. You're just gonna be around a
yeah,
bunch of yes men. And I was like, I know he's trying to guilt trip him, but he's right. Like, cause
you
think
got a
about like
point.
when he had that monkey, like they were just kind of, they were all like, boy, you did not make us come outside for this monkey. But they were like, that's Michael. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just kind of like let him be himself. Like, whereas
Yeah,
like when he finally did do interviews, like we really got to know him, like people always like would make fun of him or had all these things to say. So it was like nobody is gonna know you like family. And then like there was yes men around him, like that's ultimately like what caused his demise. So I was just
yeah,
really like,
yeah.
wow, like that was like I don't know if he actually said those words. We'll never know because only Joe and Michael will know. But like I just thought that was like spot on because I'm like it's true. Like from what we're seeing in the movie, like they accepted him as he was. So
Dang, they should let
Mm,
us write the Michael movie. I felt like we would have wrote a damn good movie. They should let us
right,
do it, man.
right.
We would have did great.
but yeah.
One thing, though, since we're on the subject of Joe, one thing I found interesting, like I said, I keep going back to American Dream.
Yeah,
And Michael, the 2026 movie, they showed Joe giving zero affection, like not a
yeah.
hug, not a nothing. But
No.
then in American Dream, there were scenes where Joe,
He was
like,
loving.
he was loving, he was smiling, he was hugging, all those things. So it's just like, what was it?
Yeah.
And
Was he
like
trash or was he good?
and one thing that I wish that we could have that we'll never have is like Michael Jackson's perspective
100%.
Oh
and
man. Oh yeah.
How Joe would have been written if Michael Jackson
Yeah.
was still alive to this day.
But I still
Man.
feel like Michael Jackson, I think there's a level of respect that he's always gonna like that he always had. So it would have never we've never I still feel like we would never really know because there's a level of respect that he always
Yeah.
keep there.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, no, agreed. Real quick, I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, wait, so he wasn't as evil as like I thought he was gonna be beating them like in adulthood. All I thought it was gonna be so much worse. And then
Yeah.
like you said, like there were like loving moments. Like when he had got his nose job, he was just coming out of the room to talk to him and say, "Hey, what's up?" Like he wasn't trying to like do anything.
Yeah.
So I was noticing
I
that.
was ready for him to. I was ready
Cutting
for
with that
Joe to punch
razor.
him in the nose. And and that you're right. That was kind of a loving. I think he wanted to love on Michael, and kind of tell him like, you ain't had to do that, bro. Like it ain't your sinuses. Yeah, I think he wanted to. Is and then black men of those times, a lot of them didn't know how to be loving.
True.
A lot of
Mm-mm.
them didn't know how to be nurturers because their fathers weren't loving or they didn't tell them, well, I love you and I'm proud of you. So they just grew up knowing, we got to survive. I love you because I'm putting food on your table and I'm paying the bill. So that's how I show you
That's how I
love.
show
So I
you
think
love, right?
that's how a lot of those men of those times were. Um, yeah. So I think and a lot of Michael's ways and a lot of how Michael was because of Joe Jackson. A lot of the way that Mike was. But I hear so many stories about Michael Jackson. A lot of people say Mike didn't even talk like that. A lot of people say Mike had a very deep
I
voice and
know
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
it's
act
clips
like
of
that.
him.
yeah,
Yeah, I've heard
yeah.
Mike talk. He doesn't talk the way that they talked to him. A lot of people say, man, Mike had a bunch of women. Like I've heard
They say
that
he was
Mike had some of
real
the
thick.
baddest women of all time. Like I've heard so many stories about Mike, which that goes to show again, how when you're the GOAT, you have so many different stories about you. And people like, man, I seen Mike do this. I seen Mike float into a room one time. I seen Mike, so it's tough, man. I'm like, I wish we could have got the perspective from Mike's mouth himself. Like, let me sit down and tell my own story. I really wish we could
Yeah.
have got that.
I feel like there are definitely journals that exist
Oh, for sure.
that might go
For sure.
display on display at a museum. Like I remember this was several years ago. We
Hmm.
were in Seattle and we went to like I think it's called like the EPK Museum. I can't remember
Hmm.
the name of it, but it's like a music museum history of
Yeah.
Seattle. And there's a Jimi Hendrix exhibit as well as a Nirvana exhibit,
Hmm.
and they have like literal journals like that Jimi Hendrix wrote in, that Kurt Cobain wrote in, and like it felt so invasive, honestly. But it was like it was eerie, it felt invasive, but it was
Yeah.
cool to like
Yeah.
see their thoughts and
Yeah.
how they felt about things. So like it would be cool to like see something like that about Michael Jackson. Is it a little invasive? Yeah, it is, but it would still be cool if something like that existed.
There is
I
stuff
think.
like that, like letters,
Yeah.
like in his journal that like you just see online and stuff. They're not in like
Yeah.
museums or anything, I don't think, but you do see those like on the line, like from time to time, for
I think
Mm-mm.
it's
sure.
that would be dope, but it's and like you said, it is a little invasive because I read Kurt Cobain's suicide letter. That was just on the internet, so I read his suicide letter. So stuff like that is very invasive, but then at the same time, you read like you said, it's very eerie. But you read and it's like, oh man, this is what Kurt Cobain was going through before he
Yeah.
killed. This is what Jimi Hendrix was going through before he passed. So it's dope. Now I've read stuff like that, so I would love to see something like that. It's I mean, when you got these type of artists, these people have a different mind than everybody else. Their mind is completely different from how just a regular person. When you're an artist, your mind is so different. So I would love to hear Mike's side of things. I
Yeah.
would That would be something that would have been amazing. But
How you know,
unfortunately, my
Darius?
man's went too soon.
Are you
Huh?
an artist? Are you an artist? How do you know their
Yeah,
minds
man,
are
I'm a,
different?
I could be a little weird sometimes, bro. So, people be like, bro, you a little different. I get it because that's what I create. I'm a
I'm
creative,
I'm
you know.
basically Mike.
You feel me? Like I'm a little bit of Mike with a little bit of Prince rolled into me because I'm a little toxic, but I still love at the end of the day. So with a little Chris Brown in me, but I don't,
Oh
we
no.
All right, we no Chris Brown.
So what would y'all say was the worst scene of the movie? If you
Ooh,
have one, or a scene you could have done without.
Bubbles.
AI bubbles. I feel like
Get
it just could have got a
get a
real
real monkey.
monkey.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
was like, is that AI? No, I
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah.
That was so
get a real
unnecessary.
monkey.
That's
Yeah,
true.
get a
And
real
and
monkey.
and Latoya, do we? If no Janet, get the sisters out all together. Then don't even
True.
put the
I feel
sisters
like with
in.
the AI bubbles too, it wasn't the best choice because they made it like such a moment getting everybody to come outside. So it's like, why not just have a real monkey? Like it's
Sophia,
2020.
And why
yeah.
did they have that big truck for that little
That's
monkey?
what I was
Yo,
thinking.
another thing. All right, looking at my notes, right? So we talking about stuff that was weird. So, Bill drove him around, right? It was Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. Why didn't he have tents on that car?
Oh yeah,
None
that
of the cars,
None of the cars had tents on them. I'm
except for the
like,
limo. But they never drove the limo.
true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's a good one. Yeah,
oh,
that's a good one.
also another thing, I felt like when they would like pan to the crowds, like
Yeah.
cheering, I feel like some of them people had on 2026 fits.
That
Oh,
Did you
for
part.
notice that too?
sure. For
I was
sure.
like, did they like remake this crowd for this movie? I literally thought that.
I'm
Yes.
like,
For
yo,
sure.
these are 2026 fits, yo. Like,
Yeah.
what's going
So
on?
Yes.
some of those scenes were it's like, okay, bro, this is dumb. This is so
Yeah.
dumb.
And
Yeah.
then some of the dances that Mike was doing when he was a kid, they felt too modern.
Hmm.
Like some of the moves felt like he was about to like do the crank that or something.
I
I
don't know. I
thought he
gotta
re
rewatch that part.
Now you know what? I don't think the singing was when it sounds sometimes the singing sound a little off. The
Yeah.
singing sounded a little off to me as well. So that was kind of I don't know the dance. I kind of felt like they stuck to because Mike was a good dancer, but Mike really low key just did the same moves a lot, and
Oh,
we was like, "Ooh, yeah,
every
Mike is
clip
just yeah." It was the same shimmy, shake, throw the leg go. We never
yeah.
got to see the moonwalk. Did they show the moonwalk
They
They
one
showed the
time?
moonwalk.
in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Or
last
yeah.
maybe
scene
I must
for
have
In the
looked
last
away at
scene.
that part.
In the
Oh, okay,
last
okay,
scene.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. Well, I don't know. I thought his
Yeah.
dance was great, but worst part to me was Bubbles.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was a
that
big
was
truck for a
crazy work.
very small AI chimp. That was weird. And the
Anything
whole family, like Lynn just said, the family just sat there.
that
Oh, guys, we got a monkey. It's like, man, we going in the house, bro. It's hot out here.
was hilarious to me. That was such a real like family moment.
It was.
Um, what's something that like you like the one thing that you learned from the movie that you didn't know before?
One thing that I
Mm.
love movie.
MTV hadn't played any
I knew that.
videos for black artists. I didn't know that.
I knew that because of what's my
Yeah, I
man's name?
knew that, but I don't know
Bill.
how.
Was it Bill Withers? I think it was Bill Withers. The guy that the lead singer of the Bee Gees. He got on MTV about that. He
Mm.
like, don't play my music if you ain't gonna play Michael Jackson. You're not gonna play and Stevie Wonder. Like these are the biggest artists right now. You're not playing, but you're playing the Beatles and the Beach Boys. I don't want to see that crap. No disrespect to the Beatles. I love the Beatles, but we got these, and you're not playing.
They got all their stuff from us, but
Yeah,
that's
for sure, for sure, for
topic
sure,
for another day.
for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, no, that was yeah. Something I learned from it I didn't know. Oh no, man, I'm a Michael Jackson
I know
savant,
while
so I
you
kind of
think
knew.
about it. I did not know that he like just chose to get a nose job like on his own. I thought it was like
Yeah.
something that maybe
I give
like
you that. Yeah,
management
yeah,
told him. I didn't know he just like snuck off and did it. That blew my mind. I did
yeah,
not know that.
Yeah, because he was looking at, was he looking at his Thriller album
It
cover?
was Peter Pan in the book, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
So I
mm-hmm.
was like, this is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know the full asphyxiation that he had with Peter Pan in the Lost Boys. I knew Neverland was Peter Pan, but he had a real love for Peter Pan, which was a little weird. But there was never we never talked about what was the little fairy named Tinkerbell? Like where is Tinkerbell
Oh
coming in
yeah,
on?
true.
We always heard about Peter, but never Tinkerbell. So
Tinkerbell, yeah.
Yeah.
that was a little weird.
Yeah.
So,
Two,
any
oh,
last? Oh, go ahead.
oh, go ahead, my bad.
No, you got go for it. Go for it.
Oh, I
It's
was
all
gonna
you,
say
bro.
like two like cool things that like I know from knowledge about the movie. So one, um, so Michael Jackson's drummer, his name is Sugarfoot Moffett, and
Mm-hmm.
his drum setup is very particular. And the movie did a great job at like mimicking that same drum setup. Like I just noticed that. I thought it was cool. And then the song, come on, with the voice, don't stop
Mm-hmm.
till you get enough. So those like tinging sounds, like
Yeah.
those like bells,
Mhm.
that was actually Sheila E., famous percussionist, playing glass bottles to get
Oh
that
wow,
sound. That's how she was able to get that sound in the studio.
nice, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice fun facts.
That's a good for a fact. Music was great.
It was
Quincy Jones
real.
was Quincy Jones was the greatest. I don't think there's nobody that's as great as Quincy was. Quincy was the man for sure.
Okay, so what are y'all hot takes?
Don't give us a part two. Let's leave it where it's at. What is part two gonna be about? Are you gonna show us Micah having this problem with his legal troubles? Are you gonna show us Mike passing away? Are we gonna see that? Are you gonna hit the hard hitting topics in the second? If not, don't
Probably
give
not because family is involved.
I don't want it. I want the hard hitting top. I want it where people in the movie theaters crying and they sad. Give us that. If you ain't gonna give it to us, keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Um, I don't even know what my hot take is. I guess my hot take is there needed to be just more. Like, where was Diana
Hmm.
Ross? Where was his like marriage, his
Oh,
wedding?
yeah.
Where did
Gladys Knight was in there.
where?
The
Oh,
late,
when they were
yeah,
performing.
when they were
Yeah.
performing, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like there were just so many other people, and I get kind of why they didn't want to like muddy up their stories and like tell their
Yeah,
stories
for sure. Yeah.
non-potentially and they're still
Yeah,
alive.
yeah.
But it's just so weird because it's like a lot of the stuff we for sure do know about him wasn't in the movie. And I think that's
Yeah.
why it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My hot take, I love her, right? Gorgeous, timeless beauty, one of the most iconic looks in the entertainment world. Nia Long did not do Katherine Jackson justice.
Bro, she was lipping and everything, just like Cat.
I disagree, but you can
She
have
did a
your
little
take.
lip. I wish she was doing a little lip. I said, "Yo, look at Miss Catherine,
Again,
Yes, I
man."
think she did good.
again, again, I keep playing the comparison game. She did a great job. She did a great job, but it didn't feel like Catherine, like
That's
Angela
not fair though.
Bassett
You
made it
compare
feel.
her to Angela Bassett though. That's so not fair, bro. Because you're comparing her to arguably top five greatest actors of all time. That's tough, bro.
That's true.
That's
You right.
that's tough.
And I hate to be hard
Angela
on.
always is gonna be better than a lot of people. So it's
Uh,
tough. That's tough. That's tough. For what it was, I thought Nia Long did great. I felt the same. I'm like, dang, bro, she ain't gonna beat Angela.
I think it was because we didn't get enough depth out of it, out
I
of
give
her.
you that. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
we got a lot from Angela. Angela had a lot of lines in American
Because
Dream. I
like
give you that.
because in this movie it was like, I hate you, Joe. Joe, you need to go softer on the boys.
Yeah.
Michael, come eat this ice cream. Michael, you're beautiful. Michael, and it was just like very like fluffy.
Michael, go to bed, cut
I'll
these
give mine
lights off.
6 cents. I feel like this. You guys clearly were comparing it to the other movie. I
Yeah.
compared it to the other movie more so like when Michael Jackson was younger. I feel like that movie gave us a lot more from his
Yeah.
childhood. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I stopped comparing the movies. But so like I wasn't comparing their performances. I will say
Hmm.
this too, if we want to talk about things I learned like how deep their like mother-son relationship actually was and how like
Yeah.
he didn't have a lot of like friends and he was really close to his family, but like we obviously know he was really close to Janet, but like from what the movie displayed, we see that he was actually the closest to his mom and his family
Yeah.
and he spent the most time with his mom. So like
Hmm.
I feel like she did a good job portraying like that soft, gentle side, and it kind of made sense where he got his soft, gentle side as well. So I think she did a good job. And like while I was watching, I was forgetting it was Nia Long. Like I feel like that's how you know someone did a good job when you forget it's them. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can have your hot take. I think she did well. I think she did a good job.
Yeah, she did good. She did good, but it
And
was missing.
we
Yeah.
did kind of just jump you on your own hot take.
Also, last hot take, Domingo. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't care for the close-up scenes of him.
Wow.
Like like the makeup looked crazy on the close-up scenes. It kind of looked like Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks a little bit sometimes. Like,
No.
like we're not going on tour. Like,
They have to do him like
Uncle Ruckus with the gray hair.
yeah.
yeah. Like it just felt sometimes it felt like too much. Like they tried too hard
I get what you
to make him
mean.
look like Joe.
I kind of thought he looked like our grandfather. If you ever see a picture of granddad when he was young, he kind of looked like
That's
young
true.
man. It was
That's
really
true.
funny for you.
That's true.
He kind of looked like granddad when he was young. So
But did a phenomenal job. Did a phenomenal
I
job.
Cover the Big was amazing. He is
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
he's an amazing actor for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend people see this movie? I know we did our popcorn meter, but would you recommend it?
Yeah. I mean, it's Mike. Go
Yeah.
check it out. It's popular. Go watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Like off the strength that
Yeah.
is Mike. The family wrote it, so the finances. will go back to the family. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to support Mike as we're starting to like learn the truth about who he was
Yeah. Yeah.
and what he did and didn't do. I think it's
Hmm.
important to support his estate. So
I agree. I
Yeah.
and
agree.
to go see what like what legacy in the family looks like with Jafar. Like that was impressive, man.
I was
Yeah.
very
There were
dope. Yeah.
times where
That
it was like, oh my God, he looked just like him. This is
he looked just
crazy.
like him.
Yeah.
That was impressive. So I yeah, go see it. Go see it.
Yeah.
But level set your expectations.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I
Have
agree.
a drink while you're watching. It makes it a lot better.
I don't think it was that bad. You need a drink, but
I'm joking. It was cool. All right, man. This is the end of popcorn and hot takes, man. We had a really good discussion today. Um, I'm gonna pose a question to the audience. What was your favorite scene in the movie? Give us your favorite scene in the movie. What just grasped you and was like, oh my God, this is Mike. So let us know what your favorite scene was. Again, man, this is the end of Popcorn and Hot Takes. I'm Darius.
I'm Lynn.
And I'm Austin.
And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you guys next week. And we're talking about The Devil Wears Prada 2.
See you then.
Peace.